The night was quiet, but inside the small house, pain lived like a shadow. The woman sat on the edge of her bed, her face hidden in her hands. Every night was the same. She would smile during the day, act strong in front of others. But when the world went to sleep, her tears returned. Her husband had left months ago. He had walked out without looking back, leaving her with a broken heart and a son who still needed her strength. She had begged him to stay. But he said he was tired of family life, tired of responsibility. He had chosen freedom over love. Now, she was alone. Every night her son could hear her quiet sobs through the thin walls. He pretended to sleep, but his heart hurt more than words could explain. He wanted to help her. He wanted to stop her pain, but he was just a boy, powerless against the cruelty of life. He would look at her in the morning and see the red in her eyes, the forced smile she wore. She always said, "I'm fine," but he knew she was not. A mother's love can hide pain, but a son's eyes can always see the truth. The house once felt warm with laughter and the sound of two parents talking. Now it was silent. The boy would often stare at the empty chair at the dinner table. The food tasted bland without his father's jokes. The silence was heavy, pressing on them like a weight. The woman worked hard, cleaning houses during the day and cooking for her son at night. She gave him everything she could, but nothing could fill the hole in her own heart. She was not weak, she was strong, but strong people also break when no one is watching, and every night, she broke. One night, as the boy lay in bed staring at the ceiling, he heard it again, the soft sound of crying. He felt his chest tighten. He wanted to run to her, hug her, and tell her she was not alone. But he stayed in his bed, frozen. Something inside told him she wanted to keep her pain secret, hidden like a wound that no one else should see. But that night was different. As he turned toward the window, he noticed a strange light in the sky. It wasn't a plane and it wasn't a star. It moved slowly, silently, like it was searching for something. The boy rubbed his eyes, thinking he was dreaming. But no, it was real. The light hovered above the town for a moment, then vanished into the darkness. His heart raced. He wanted to tell his mother, but she was too lost in her sorrow. He could hear her soft voice whispering his father's name, begging the empty air for him to return. The boy clenched his fists. He hated hearing her beg for someone who had abandoned them. His father didn't deserve her tears. He didn't deserve her love. But still, every night she cried for him. Outside, the world seemed normal, but something was changing. The boy didn't know it yet, but the strange light in the sky was not random. It was the beginning of something bigger, something that would change his mother's fate and his own forever. For now he only knew this. His mother was drowning in pain, and he was powerless to save her. But deep inside, he made a silent promise. I will protect her. I will not let her cry forever. The wind blew softly through the window, carrying the sound of her sobs into the night. The boy shut his eyes tightly, wishing for a miracle. Far away, beyond the stars, that miracle was already on its way. But miracles never come without a price. The boy drifted into a restless sleep, unaware that his life and his mother's broken heart were about to be touched by something not of this earth. And so the secret pain of a mother, the tears she thought no one saw, would soon open the door to a story that stretched far beyond the small house, beyond the empty dinner table, beyond the earth itself, a story where love, loss, and hope would collide with the stars. The next day was like any other. The boy walked beside his mother as she carried groceries from the market. Her face looked calm, but her eyes told another story. She smiled at the neighbors, nodded politely, but inside, the sadness never left her. The boy wished he could do more for her. He wanted to see her laugh again, to see her face shine with joy, but joy seemed far away now, like a dream fading in the morning light. As they crossed a narrow street, a loud crash startled them. A delivery cart had lost control, its heavy load rolling down the slope. The boy froze as a large crate came tumbling toward his mother. Before he could shout, someone appeared. A tall figure stepped out of nowhere, moving faster than the eye could follow. Strong hands grabbed the crate and stopped it inches from her. The wood cracked under his grip, but he held it steady, saving her from harm. The boy's eyes widened. Who was this man? He stood there calm, almost too calm. His eyes glowed faintly in the sunlight, though no one else seemed to notice. His face was sharp, his expression unreadable. He looked like a traveler dressed in simple clothes, but something about him felt different. Are you hurt? The stranger asked softly. His voice was deep, steady, almost comforting. The mother shook her head, breathless. No. Thank you. You saved me. The man gave a small nod and stepped back as if he wanted no attention. But the boy stared. He had seen many people in his life, but never anyone like this. There was a presence around the stranger, something that didn't belong to ordinary humans. That night, the boy couldn't stop thinking about him. The way he moved, the way he stopped the crate with ease. It wasn't normal. It was as if the man had strength beyond what humans should have. Later, when the town was quiet again, the boy saw him. The stranger was standing near the old bridge, looking up at the stars. The boy followed quietly, hiding behind a wall. The man raised a small device in his hand. It glowed with blue light, symbols flashing across it. His strange eyes reflected the glow as he whispered words the boy couldn't understand, alien words. The boy's heart pounded. He was right. This was no ordinary man. The stranger turned suddenly, his gaze sharp as if he sensed someone watching. The boy ducked behind the wall, holding his breath. After a moment, he peeked again. The man was gone, vanished into the night like smoke. The boy ran home, his mind racing. He wanted to tell his mother, but she was already in bed, whispering his father's name in her sleep. He clenched his fists again. No, she couldn't know. Not yet. The next morning, they saw him again. He was sitting quietly at the edge of the market as if waiting for something. His eyes found the mother, and for a brief moment he smiled. It was small, but it carried warmth. The boy didn't like it. He felt a strange mix of fear and jealousy. Why was this man watching his mother? What did he want from her? The mother, however, didn't seem afraid. She walked over, thanking him again for saving her. The man bowed his head politely. It was nothing, he said. Sometimes fate puts us in the right place at the right time. The boy studied him carefully. His words were kind, but his eyes carried secrets. Secrets that didn't belong to Earth. That evening, the boy followed him again. This time, the man walked into the forest outside town. The boy kept his distance, careful not to be seen. The stranger stopped in a clearing, placing his hand on a tall rock. Suddenly, light spread from his palm, symbols glowing across the stone. The ground trembled slightly and the air shimmered, as if the world itself was alive. The boy's breath caught in his throat. This was no human. This was something far greater. The man spoke in his alien tongue again, then looked up at the stars with a face filled with longing, almost sadness. The boy didn't understand, but he felt something deep inside. This man was searching for something, or someone. And then a chilling thought struck him. What if that someone was his mother? He ran back home, his heart heavy with fear. His mother sat at the table, staring at the empty chair across from her. Tears threatened to fall again, but she held them back when she saw him. The boy sat beside her, pretending to be calm, but his thoughts screamed. Who was this stranger? Why was he here? And why did he look at his mother as if she was part of his destiny? The secret pain of a broken family was now joined by a new mystery. A stranger who came from the stars, carrying secrets that could change everything. The boy didn't know it yet, but this was only the beginning. The boy could not sleep. His mind was filled with images of the stranger in the forest, glowing symbols and words that were not human. He turned again and again in his bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering what the man wanted from his mother. Finally, when the night was quiet, the boy made a choice. He had to know the truth. The next evening, after his mother went to bed, he slipped out of the house. The air was cold, and the town was silent. He followed the same path into the forest where he had seen the stranger before, and there he was. The tall man stood again in the clearing, holding his strange device. Blue light danced across the trees, glowing like fireflies in the dark. The boy hid behind a fallen log, watching closely. The man spoke in that alien language again, but this time the device answered back. The boy's skin prickled as he heard the strange voice. It was not human. It was a machine, but alive in a way he could not explain. The words were sharp, metallic, but one phrase repeated again and again like an echo. The bond. The bond. The human bond. The boy's heart raced. What did it mean? Why was a human bond so important? The man lowered the device and sighed, his shoulders heavy with sadness. For a moment, he looked less like a powerful warrior and more like someone lost, someone carrying a burden too heavy to bear. The boy almost stepped forward, but then he froze. Another sound filled the clearing, a whisper. Not from the man, not from the machine, but from the trees themselves. It was faint, but the boy could hear it clearly. She is the one. She is the one. The boy's blood turned cold. Was it real, or was his mind playing tricks? The stranger looked around as if he heard it too. His glowing eyes narrowed, and he spoke softly to the darkness. I know, he said. But will she accept it? The boy's heart sank. He knew who she was. His mother. The man placed the device away and walked back toward the town. The boy waited until he was gone, then ran home as fast as his legs could carry him. When he entered, his mother was still awake, sitting at the table with her head resting on her hands. She looked up, surprised. Where were you? She asked. The boy hesitated. He wanted to tell her everything, the glowing lights, the whispers, the strange words about the bond. But looking into her tired eyes, he stopped himself. She had enough pain already. I just needed some air, he said quietly. She gave him a small smile, but it didn't reach her eyes. You remind me of your father, she whispered. Always restless. The boy bit his lip. He hated when she said that. His father had abandoned them. He didn't want to be like him. The next day, the boy kept watch. He saw the stranger again, this time near the well in the village square. The man helped an old woman carry her bucket, speaking kindly to her, his strength hidden behind gentle movements. The villagers thought he was just a traveler, but the boy knew better. Later, when the stranger passed by their house, he stopped. His eyes met the mother's for a brief moment. She froze, her heart skipping a beat. There was something in his gaze, something deep, something that made her feel seen for the first time in a long time. The boy saw it too, and his chest tightened. That night the whispers returned. Not in the forest, not from the device, but in his dreams. He heard voices speaking in strange tongues echoing like 1,000 stars. They spoke of love, sacrifice, and destiny. He woke up drenched in sweat, his heart pounding. Were they only dreams, or was something greater reaching out to him? The following evening, he made another bold choice. He followed the stranger again, but this time he didn't hide. He stepped into the clearing and said loudly, "Who are you?" The man turned slowly. His eyes glowed faintly in the dark, and for a moment, silence hung heavy between them. Then he spoke. "I am not from your world." The boy swallowed hard, but his voice was steady. "What do you want from my mother?" The man looked at him with calm sadness. "Your mother is special, more special than she knows. My people, my world, they are dying. There is only one thing that can save them." The boy's hands shook. "What?" The stranger stepped closer, his voice low but clear. "The bond of a human heart." The boy felt the ground shift beneath him. The whispers, the device, the glowing symbols, it all connected now. His mother, broken by sorrow, was somehow the key to saving a world far away among the stars. But Why her? Why his mother? The man's eyes softened. She carries pain but also love. And love, even broken, has power beyond what you can imagine. The boy wanted to scream, to tell him to leave them alone, but his voice failed him. Deep inside, he knew the stranger spoke the truth, and so, the whispers of the galaxy had reached them. A mother's tears, a son's fear, and a stranger's mission were about to collide. The boy could not forget the stranger's words. Your mother is special. The bond of a human heart can save my world. They echoed in his mind, haunting him like a secret too heavy to carry. But his mother knew nothing of this. She still carried her pain quietly every day, every night. She smiled when she cooked. She smiled when neighbors spoke to her. But at night she broke down, her sobs shaking the walls of the small house. One evening, when the boy came to her room, he found her sitting by the window, staring at the empty chair where his father once sat. The moonlight touched her face, making her tears shine like silver. Mom, he whispered, stepping closer. She quickly wiped her face, forcing a smile. I'm fine. But the boy shook his head. You're not fine. You cry every night. I hear you. Her face softened, her mask falling away. For the first time, she didn't deny it. She took his hand and pulled him close, her voice trembling. I try to be strong for you, she whispered, but my heart is broken. Since your father left, I feel empty, like half of me is missing. At night, when the world is quiet, I can't stop the pain. I cry because I don't know how to fix myself. The boy hugged her tightly, his own eyes wet. You don't need him. You have me. I'll protect you. She kissed his forehead, her tears falling onto his hair. I know, my son. You are my reason to live. But sometimes, love leaves scars that even a child's love cannot heal. Her words cut deep into his chest. He hated seeing her broken, hated the man who had left her to drown in sorrow. But even more, he hated his own helplessness. And then, as if fate itself was listening, there was a knock at the door. The boy stiffened. He knew who it was before. The door opened. The stranger stood outside, tall and calm, his eyes glowing faintly in the dark. The mother gasped softly, surprised. You're the man who saved me that day. The stranger nodded. Yes. Forgive me for coming uninvited, but there is something I must tell you. The boy stepped in front of his mother. No, stay away from her. The stranger's gaze was steady, not angry, only full of quiet sadness. I mean no harm, but your mother deserves to know the truth. The mother looked between them, confused. What truth? The man stepped forward, his voice low and gentle. Your heart is stronger than you realize. The love you carry, even in sorrow, has power. My people, my world, is dying. Only the bond of a human heart can heal it. And you are the one chosen. The room fell silent. The mother stared at him as if he had spoken madness. Me? No. I'm just a broken woman. I can't even heal myself. How could I heal anyone else? The boy glared at him. See? She doesn't want this. Leave her alone. But the stranger didn't move. Your pain does not make you weak. It makes you powerful. Love that survives. Loss is the strongest force in the universe. And you, even with your broken heart, carry that love. The mother shook her head, tears filling her eyes again. You don't understand. My husband left me. He chose to walk away. I am not strong. I am unwanted. My tears are not power. They are weakness. The stranger's eyes softened, glowing brighter as he stepped closer. You are wrong. Pain is not weakness. Pain is proof that you love deeply. And love, even in pain, is what my world needs. Without it, we will vanish. Her lips trembled. She looked at her son, who stood protectively in front of her, his small fists clenched. I don't know what to believe. The boy grabbed her hand. Don't listen to him, Mom. He's lying. He just wants to take you away. The stranger's gaze lingered on the boy for a moment, then returned to the mother. I will not force you, the choice is yours. But know this. If you refuse, countless lives across the stars will end. Your love could save them. But only if you are willing. He turned and walked into the night, leaving the mother trembling in silence. The boy held her hand tightly. Don't believe him. You don't need to save anyone, you just need to heal yourself. But deep inside, even as he spoke, he feared the stranger's words were true. And his mother, though broken, felt something stir inside her. A tiny spark she hadn't felt since before her husband left. Could her heart still matter? Could her love, scarred and wounded, truly have power? That night as she lay in bed, her tears returned. But this time they were not only for her lost husband. They were also for the impossible choice placed before her, and somewhere in the dark. The boy whispered to himself, I won't let him take her from me, even if it means fighting the stars. The days that followed were heavy with silence. The mother went about her work as usual, cooking, cleaning, pretending everything was normal. But inside, her thoughts twisted like storms. The stranger's words echoed again and again. Your love can save my world. She told herself it was madness. She was only a woman left behind, abandoned and broken. How could her heart matter to anyone, let alone an entire world among the stars? Yet no matter how she tried to ignore it, something deep inside whispered, what if it is true? The boy noticed the change. His mother seemed lost, distracted. She burned food twice that week and forgot simple things. When he asked what was wrong, she only smiled weakly. But he knew. He knew she was thinking about the stranger, and he hated it. One evening, when the sun was sinking behind the hills, the stranger appeared again. He stood at the edge of their yard, waiting quietly. The mother stepped outside, her hands trembling. The boy followed, standing protectively by her side. You should not have come back, the boy snapped. The stranger looked at him calmly, then turned his eyes to the mother. I came because time is running out. Her voice shook. Why me? Why my heart? There are millions of women in the universe. Why choose me? The man's gaze softened. Because you carry what others cannot. Pain and love together. A love that was wounded but did not die. My people's curse can only be healed by a heart that knows both hope and loss. Without you, my world will fall into silence forever. The mother closed her eyes, shaking her head. I am not strong. My husband left me. I begged him to stay and he walked away. I am nothing. The stranger's voice grew firmer, almost fierce. You are not nothing. You are proof that love survives even when it breaks. That is the rarest power in the galaxy, and it lives in you. The boy's fists clenched. You're trying to steal her from me. She's my mother, not your savior. The man looked at him, his eyes sad but unyielding. I will not take her by force. The choice is hers alone. The mother's knees felt weak. She sat on the porch, burying her face in her hands. I don't know what to do. My heart is broken. How can I save anyone when I can't even save myself? The stranger knelt in front of her, his voice low and gentle now. Sometimes the ones who are broken bring the most healing. You have lived through betrayal, through loneliness, through nights of endless tears, and yet you still love your son. That love, even in pain, can save a world that has forgotten how to feel. Her eyes filled with tears again. She looked at her son, whose small hand clung to her sleeve. His eyes begged her not to go. I can't leave him, she whispered. He is my world. The stranger nodded slowly. And he will always be. But what if your love could save both him and millions of others? Would you not want to give him a galaxy where love still exists, instead of one filled with emptiness? The boy stepped in front of his mother, his voice sharp with anger. Stop trying to trick her. She doesn't need to save your world. She only needs to heal here. With me. The stranger's face hardened. Do you think love belongs only to you? Love is bigger than one house, bigger than one town. It is the fire of life itself. And your mother's heart carries that fire. The tension grew heavy. The mother's chest rose and fell quickly, caught between two worlds, her son's desperate need and the stranger's desperate plea. Finally, she stood. Her voice trembled, but it was steady enough. I cannot give you an answer tonight. My heart is torn in two. One side belongs to my son, who is my breath, my blood, my reason. The other side wonders if my pain can truly mean something greater. The stranger bowed his head. I understand, but the storm is coming. Enemies know I am here. They will strike soon. And if you have not chosen by then, the choice will be stolen from you. With that, he turned and walked into the shadows, leaving mother and son alone again. The boy grabbed her hand, his voice breaking. Please, Mom. Don't go with him. Don't leave me like Dad did. Her heart shattered all over again. She knelt and hugged him tightly, her tears soaking his shirt. I will never abandon you, never. But my son, what if my love could save more than just us? What if it could save everything? The boy shook his head, sobbing. I don't care about the stars. I just want you here. And in that moment, the mother realized the terrible truth. No matter what she chose, someone would suffer. If she stayed, a world would die. If she left, her son's heart would break. The weight of it crushed her, heavier than all her nights of sorrow. She was no longer just a broken woman. She was a woman standing between two worlds, forced to choose which one she would save. The night was heavy, the air thick with silence. The mother sat awake, staring at the stars outside her window. Her son slept beside her, his small body curled up, his face calm in dreams. But her own mind could not rest. The stranger's words still burned in her chest. Enemies will strike soon. She wanted to believe it was only fear, only stories. But something inside told her the truth. Danger was coming. And then it happened. Sudden roar split the sky, shaking the ground beneath their house. The boy shot awake, eyes wide with fear. Mom, what is that? Before she could answer, the roof trembled. Shadows moved outside, dark figures with glowing red eyes. Their armor gleamed like steel, their movements sharp and merciless. Hunters. The stranger appeared at the door, his face grim. They've found us. Stay behind me. The boy clung to his mother, his heart racing. Who are they? The stranger's eyes burned brighter. They are the ones who wish to erase love from the galaxy. They cannot allow the bond to form. The mother's hands shook. They came for me? Yes, the stranger said, his voice low. And they will not stop until you are gone. The hunters advanced, their weapons humming with deadly light. The stranger stepped forward, drawing a blade that glowed with silver fire. The battle began. The clash of metal and sparks lit up the night. The stranger moved with impossible speed, striking down the first enemy, blocking another's blow with his burning blade. But there were too many. The mother held her son close, her heart pounding. Every strike shook her to the core. She wanted to scream, to run, but her feet were frozen. One of the hunters broke through, rushing toward them. The boy cried out. The mother threw herself in front of him, bracing for death. But the stranger leapt, cutting the hunter down in one swift strike. His chest heaved, his face fierce, but his eyes flicked to her for just a moment. Protect him. Your love must protect him. Another blast struck his side. He staggered, blood dark against his clothes, but he did not fall. He roared, pushing forward, his blade slicing through the storm of enemies. The boy's heart twisted. Mom, he's fighting for us. He's bleeding for us. Tears filled her eyes. This man, this alien, was risking everything to protect them. Why? Why was her broken love so important? The hunters closed in, circling them. The stranger fought, but his strength was fading. His knees buckled as another blow struck him across the back. He fell to one knee, his blade trembling in his hand. The mother's breath caught. He was losing. The leader of the hunters stepped forward, his voice cruel and cold. The bond will never form. The woman's heart belongs to sorrow, not love. The mother's chest ached. She looked at her son, whose terrified eyes stared back at her. She looked at the stranger, bleeding, still fighting even when his body was breaking. And then something deep inside her broke free. She stood tall, her voice trembling but fierce. "You are wrong." The hunter's red eyes narrowed. "My heart does belong to sorrow," she said, her voice rising, "but it also belongs to love, to my son, to the memory of what I lost. And love, even when broken, is stronger than hate." The ground trembled. The air shimmered around her. A light, soft and warm, began to glow from her chest. It spread like fire, wrapping around her son, wrapping around the wounded stranger. The hunters staggered back, shielding their eyes. The stranger gasped, his wounds closing as the light touched him. His strength returned, his blade flaring brighter than before. He rose again, his eyes glowing like twin stars. "Her bond," he whispered. "It has awakened." The hunters screamed, charging in fury. But now the stranger fought with renewed power, every strike infused with the mother's love. His blade cut through their ranks like fire through dry grass. One by one they fell until the last collapsed in silence. The night grew quiet again. The stranger stood tall, his chest heaving, his eyes still shining. He turned to the mother, his voice filled with awe. "You have done what none in my world could. Your love has power beyond measure." The mother fell to her knees, exhausted, tears running down her face. The boy hugged her tightly, trembling. "Mom, you saved us," he whispered. She held him close, her heart pounding. She had not meant to, she had only wanted to protect him. But somehow her broken love had become something greater, something strong enough to push back the darkness. The stranger placed a hand on his chest, bowing his head. "The bond is real. Your heart has chosen. But now you must decide if you will carry it beyond this world." The mother looked at her son, who clung to her like he would never let go. She looked at the stranger, whose life she had saved without even trying. Her voice was faint but steady. "I don't know if I can leave, but I know this. My heart will never stop loving." The storm had passed, but the choice still loomed before her. Would she stay in her small world, holding on to the pieces of her broken life? Or would she step into the stars, carrying her love to heal an entire world? The village was silent after the battle. Broken pieces of the hunter's armor lay scattered across the ground, glowing faintly before fading into dust. The air still smelled of smoke and fire, but the danger was gone. The boy sat beside his mother, holding her hand tightly as if he would never let go. She was still trembling, her body weak from the strange power that had poured out of her. Yet, inside her chest, she felt something new, something alive. For the first time since her husband left, her tears were not only of pain, they were also of strength. The stranger stood a few steps away, his wounds fully healed by the bond of her love. His glowing eyes softened as he looked at her. He bowed his head, his voice filled with respect. "You have done what no warrior could. You gave me your heart's light. With it, I survived. With it, my people can live." The mother shook her head slowly. "I didn't do it for you. I did it to protect my son." The stranger smiled faintly. "That is exactly why it worked. Love born from protection is the purest love of all." The boy looked at him with suspicion, but there was also something new in his eyes, something close to reluctant respect. The stranger had fought for them. He had bled for them. And in the end, he had not lied. Still, the boy held his mother tighter. "You don't have to go with him, Mom. You don't have to leave me." The stranger stepped closer, kneeling so he could look the boy in the eye. His voice was calm, almost gentle. "I will never force her. The choice belongs only to her. But you must understand, her love is bigger than this house, bigger than this town. It can save millions who are crying in silence, just as she once cried every night." The boy's chest tightened. He wanted to scream that it didn't matter. But deep inside, he knew the stranger was right. His mother's heart had power he could not deny. The mother looked at both of them, torn in two. On one side was her son, her world, the only piece of her broken life that still gave her joy. On the other was this stranger, offering her a chance to turn her sorrow into something greater, to heal an entire galaxy. Her heart ached with the weight of the decision. Finally, she spoke. Her voice was soft but steady. "If I leave, my son will break. If I stay, your people will die. How can I choose between the stars and my child?" The stranger's eyes glowed brighter, but his voice was heavy with understanding. "You don't have to choose alone. The bond is not meant to take you away forever. It is meant to join worlds. If you walk with me, your son can walk with you. He is part of your love. Without him, the bond would not exist." The boy blinked, surprised. "Me? You mean I can come too?" The stranger nodded. "You are her heart. Where she goes, you must follow. The bond belongs to both of you." The boy turned to his mother, his voice trembling. "Mom, is this real? Can we really go to the stars together?" She pulled him into her arms, tears falling freely now. "I don't know what the future holds, but if we go together. I will never leave you behind." The stranger stood, raising his hand to the sky. A beam of light shot upward, splitting the clouds. The stars above seemed to shimmer, as if calling to her. "Your world has given much pain," he said softly, "but now it gives hope. With your love, we will rise again. The galaxy will know the bond is real." The boy held his mother's hand tightly as the ground beneath them trembled. A ship appeared above, silent and bright, lowering toward the earth like a silver bird. The villagers peeked from their windows, their eyes wide with fear and wonder. But the mother stood tall, her broken heart no longer weak. She had cried herself to sleep for so many nights. Now, for the first time, she felt awake, alive. She looked at the empty chair inside her home one last time, the chair her husband had abandoned. Then she turned to her son, her voice steady. "We don't need him. We have each other. And now, we have the stars." The boy smiled through his tears, hugging her tightly. "I'll go wherever you go, Mom." The stranger extended his hand. She took it, her son's small fingers gripping hers. Together they stepped into the beam of light. As the ship rose into the sky, the boy looked down at the village growing smaller below. His heart pounded with fear but also excitement. For the first time, he felt that his mother was not broken anymore. She was strong enough to change the fate of worlds. The stars stretched out before them, endless and bright. And so, the story of a broken woman who cried every night did not end in sorrow. It became the beginning of a legend of love, loss, and the bond of a human heart that healed a galaxy. A new dawn had come.